Nintendo has an interesting history with social media. These days, they have a presence on pretty much every major site, engaging in the same promotional processes as most other large-scale organisations. But there was once a time when Nintendo wasn't all too keen on users sharing videos and images of their games. Even on this very platform, Nintendo kicked up a stink with their partner program, insisting for a time that in order to monetize your Nintendo-themed content, that you must be part of this program, which heavily restricted how you could show Nintendo content and the language that you were allowed to use. All of that though is a story for another day, as today Nintendo is trying to draw you in to their very own news app, Nintendo Today. This is billed as a one-stop shop for all your Nintendo announcements and information, so that way you don't need to engage with social media and see the abject horrors of things like Super Mario World Kaizo hacks and Zelda Breath of the Wild in VR. Heaven forbid. Launched in March of 2025, the app is one of 4 semi-recent developments in the line of Nintendo mobile applications, which now includes the original Switch Online app, parental controls, Nintendo Music, and most recently the online shop, which for some reason also comes with a tab for seeing your playtime. Frankly, that's the best thing any of these apps do. But is this app actually any good? Well, not really, no. For starters, it's very limited in scope, offering a calendar tool which alerts you to a sprinkling of in-game events for games like Splatoon and Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, and a rather short homepage screen featuring the occasional previously released comic strip, Nintendo Power magazine cover, or this Nintendo 365 thing where it tells you what games came out on that date, but it always uses the Japanese release, so it's rather redundant anywhere else in the world. To put it bluntly, the Nintendo Today app doesn't have much to offer that you can't already find elsewhere. The calendar feature is neat, albeit quite underutilised, but aside from that, I watch my Nintendo Directs on YouTube, I use Wikipedia if I care to know when a game was released, and I've seen all the Pikmin comic strips before, and I don't care about the rackets in Mario Tennis Fever. The only way Nintendo could force this app to be useful is if they suddenly turned around and said, "Hey guys, we're done with Twitter and Instagram, Directs won't be streamed on YouTube anymore, and if you want to see Nintendo content at all, you have to use this app." To which the collective response from consumers would be, well, that's dumb. Because the minute you start cutting off ways for people to be exposed to your games, like by restricting YouTubers and pulling out of social media, you are no longer minting new fans. Sorry, I'm speaking hypothetically here. Nintendo is still on social media and I believe they have come to appreciate its benefits. But if they have, then I do not understand why the Nintendo Today app even exists. I'm not even sure Nintendo knows what to do with it, and it's nearly a year old at this point. We know it's not a social media app, as you can't interact with any of the content you see aside from giving it a "that's cool, that's cute" rating. And when the vast majority of your audience are already on social media platforms and engaging with your content there in far more in-depth ways, what then is the point of having your own bespoke application, when all it does is regurgitate the content that people will find elsewhere? In this past year, I can count only 2 occasions where Nintendo Today was at the forefront of news content from Nintendo. The first was the release date of the Zelda movie being May 2027, 2 years before it's due to come out. It was announced slightly earlier on the Nintendo Today app than on Nintendo's official websites and socials. The second was the Close to You Pikmin short that for a while Nintendo was taking down re-uploads on other platforms. In both cases, within a very short time frame, the information or content intended to draw people into the app was freely and readily available on the wider internet. If it were the case that everything Nintendo announced was published first on Nintendo Today, and the app notified you of this, then sure, I can see plenty of Nintendo's fans downloading Nintendo Today. But in the past year, that hasn't happened. Games are announced on Twitter, pretty much at the same time as they're shown on Nintendo's own news app. There's simply no draw. So in summary, for Nintendo Today to even be remotely of value, it has to be the go-to place for the absolute latest in Nintendo news. But right now, it simply isn't. Hey, thanks for sticking around until the end. If you liked this video, be sure to leave a like and drop a comment, and be sure to let me know if you have the Nintendo Today app. If you use it, do you see it as value? What are your thoughts? Do let me know. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.